Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato SammaSambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato SammaSambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato SammaSambuddhassa. Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Dutayambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dutayambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tatadutayampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Tatayampi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Tatayampi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tatayampi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from their happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However measurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata Om Gate Gate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Om Gate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Tayata Om Gate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. So now get yourself into a comfortable position so that you can engage in the practice of meditation with a relaxed body, relaxed mind, having the body not too rigid, but also not lazy, not slouching forward, and so forth. Bring your attention initially to your body to release any tension that you may have in the body. This helps to release the tension in the mind also. So bring your attention to the tips of your toes. the balls of your feet, the arches and the heels, and release any tension. And also from the top of the feet and around your ankles and Achilles tendons. Release from your lower leg, your calf muscles and around your shins. And the front, sides and back of your knees. Your upper leg, the quad muscles at the front and the hamstrings at the back. And from your midsection area, the groin, the hip flexors and the glutes. Now bring your focus to your lower stomach and release any tension you have there. And also from your sides, on and above your hips, and also your lower back. Further up your stomach and up your sides and to the center of your back. From your chest area, underneath your arms and your upper back. On each side, you have the lateral muscles and also the rhomboid muscles that run between the shoulder blades and the spine. Now release the tension from your upper trap muscles that run between your neck and your shoulders, as well as your shoulders. From your upper arms, the biceps and triceps, and elbows and forearms, wrists, hands, fingers and thumbs. And now bring your focus up to your neck and release any tension you may have, the front, sides, and back of your neck, up the back of your head, and the sides of your head around your ears and temples. Now bring your focus to your face and release the tension from around your cheeks, cheekbones. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. From your chin, your mouth, both inside and outside. With your lips gently touching and your tongue resting on the upper palate above the top teeth in the mouth. From your nose and eye sockets and eyes and sinuses. And make sure you're not frowning on your forehead. And finally, release the tension from the top of your head. And now very briefly, just scan your whole body again to see if there's any leftover, any residue tension that you can release. And now we will practice anapanasati, or mindfulness of the breath. The feeling of the breath as you breathe in and out is your focus. So initially bring your attention to the tip of your nose and then breathe in your nose. The air is quite cool as it passes your throat, and the lungs expand as they fill with air. And as you breathe out, they compress, and the air is quite warm as you breathe out. That's all you have to do right now, is focus on your breathing, the feeling of your breath as you breathe in and out. What you did before is gone. What you will do in the future has not arrived. So as each moment arises and passes, you focus on your breath and try to remain in this moment. If thoughts arise, or emotions, some sort of mental sensations. Don't cling to them. Don't grasp at them. Don't try to forcefully push them away or deny them even. Just let them come and go naturally and refocus or replace your mind onto your breath. If you experience mental dullness, do likewise. Be aware of it and then conscientiously replace your mind back onto the breath. This is the process of the meditation. Don't be too hard on yourself, but also don't be lazy. There's no judging here. Mindfulness of the breath, aware when the mind wanders away from the breath, and conscientious in replacing the mind back on the breath. And now we will do this in silence for a few minutes. So now you can feel very pleased with yourself and fill yourself with loving kindness. We will now practice Metabhavana, or loving-kindness meditation. Express this loving-kindness to yourself and fill your whole being with loving-kindness. The word metta is translated as loving-kindness, but you could also add the word universal, because there's no bias involved. Universal loving-kindness. It's friendliness, non-violence, also has honesty. Being honest to ourselves. It's almost like we're being our best friend and then sharing this with others. And now radiate this loving kindness outwards, initially to your family and friends. May they be loving and kind and peaceful. May they be happy and free from suffering. Radiate this loving kindness out further to also include strangers, those people you may know or may not know. Maybe it's the person at your local shop or the petrol station, or somebody you pass in the street often. Wishing also that they are loving and friendly and at peace, happy and free from suffering. And now also radiate this love and kindness to those people you find very difficult or irritating. Wishing also that they are loving and friendly and at peace, happy and free from suffering. And continue radiating this loving kindness out further and further, like a tidal wave of loving kindness, to include all living beings around your immediate area, those living on the land, those living in the waters and flying through the air. May they also be loving and kind and peaceful, happy and free from suffering. All of those living beings that are born from eggs, from wombs, due to moisture and through transformation. And now radiate this love and kindness out further and further to include your state or county. Continue radiating further and further. Loving kindness pervades the whole country. And other countries, until it pervades the whole earth. May the whole earth be peaceful. May all of the beings on this earth be loving and kind. May they be happy and free from suffering. And visualize or imagine that this is actually happening here and now. Really feel this. Radiate this love and kindness out beyond this world alone, to pervade the whole solar system. And beyond this solar system alone, to pervade the whole galaxy of solar systems called the Milky Way. And throughout this universe, all the galaxies within this universe. May there be peace, May all living beings be loving and kind. May they be happy and free from suffering. Now extend this universal love and kindness out throughout infinite space without limit. And now be present here and now, and we will recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their sufferings. May the precious bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And you know, when you feel nice in the meditation, even if it's a distracted meditation, which happens sometimes, really rejoice in the goodness of it. Rejoice in the nice feeling that you're having, and then share this with others, initially through your aspirations, eventually practically. You know, when you're out there in the public, really share the love and kindness. And even though we're going through difficult times with this pandemic and you have to distance yourself from others, you can still give them good vibes. You know, I say to people sometimes when I see them now that you can smile with your eyes if you're wearing a mask. You know, you may not be able to see the lips, but you can see the eyes. So make sure that you are radiating this loving kindness. This is one way you can practice the Dharma during this difficult period. You know, with Buddhism and Buddhist practitioners, we like to be a benefit to others. And this is one way you can do this while keeping yourself safe as well as others safe as well. So we'll continue the discussion. Of course, the big picture at the moment is the Eightfold Path, or the Fourth Noble Truth. And we are talking about the meditation aspect. But we're also leading into the wisdom aspect as we speak about these 51 derivative mental factors. And we're doing it in reasonable detail. Of course, if we were doing face-to-face classes, at least say for 2-hour periods, we would be able to go much more in depth. So I encourage you, as I have in previous weeks, to you can contact me if you want to have more elaboration and more clarity or clarifying of certain points of these teachings, either through messenger, texting me through that, or texting me on my phone, emailing, or even calling me. I can call back, even internationally, I can call back for free with the deal that I have. So very happy to speak to anybody. As well as encourage you to, keep researching, keep looking up on the internet or through the books that you may have, and just check these teachings, and see if you agree with them, you understand them, and then with the understanding, with agreements, I guess, you can put them into practice. Sort of like, when we learn our times tables as kids, we start at the beginning, and then we think about it, then it starts to make sense, and then it's natural. I don't think there's too many people, adults, that go around reciting their times tables because they already know what it is, So it becomes natural then for us to practice. So 51 derivative mental factors from the Abhidharmakosha by Master Vasubandhu, the House of Higher Knowledge Teachings, which is an expansion and a commentary really on the Abhidharma, higher knowledge teachings of the Buddha. So we've spoken about the 5 omnipresent mental factors already 2 weeks ago, and last week we spoke about the 5 object determining mental factors. And so today we will talk about what we can call the 6 root delusions, or the 6 root mental afflictions. These 6 give rise then to 20 secondary delusions, or mental factors, or mental afflictions, I should say. And then they give rise to all of the others. So this is why we need to talk about and understand these 6 root delusions, because if we can decrease them, eventually eradicate them, then all of the other mental afflictions do not arise, which is very cool, isn't it? This amazes me. The Dharma teachings always amaze me on a simple level as well as on a profound level, because the teachings, when learnt, and the methods within learnt and then put into practice, they're amazing. It's like cleaning things, cleaning the mind. When the mind becomes clean, then our actions and our words become clean. I think it's very cool. So never take them for granted. Always make use of this precious human life, this opportunity we have with this very vast and wide intellectual abilities that we have, the consciousness we have, but also realize it's impermanent. And so practice now, study now, don't always put it off, and really work to understand the law of karma, the law of cause and effect. And then also understand the unsatisfactory nature of cyclic existence, that it is impermanent, that it has the nature of being unsatisfactory, and there is no self to be found anywhere. So, like I said, the 6 root delusions or 6 root mental afflictions are ignorance, attachment, aversion, pride, doubt or uncertainty, and wrong views. Now, they're all based on ignorance. Ignorance is the ultimate root, isn't it? The lack of understanding. The word in Sanskrit is avidya, or in Pali, avijja. And this is the opposite of vidya or vijja. Vijja or vidya means to know. And so avijja or avijja means a lack of knowing. And that is what we translate into ignorance in English. Sometimes we can use the word delusion as well, lack of seeing things as they really are and seeing our mind as it really is. So the ignorance, ignorant of the reality. For instance, I've written myself a few notes as per normal, and basically it's the lack of understanding, specifically of the law of karma and of the 3 marks of existence, sometimes also known as the 4 seals. Not seals like the animal, but seals like a government stamp type of thing. So the law of karma, of course, without the cause is dependent on previous effects. The effects are dependent on cause. So this can also be known as interdependency as well. It comes under the law of interdependency as well. Okay, now everything is impermanent. I think we can understand that. We just have to look at a picture of ourselves when we're in our 20s or something, and compare it to now and say, oh, okay, yeah, impermanence. And then, of course, the nature of unsatisfactoriness. Even our happiness doesn't last 100% of the time. It's always changing. This is unsatisfactory. And then, of course, there is no self to be found anywhere. But we live contrary to this. We think things are permanent. We find happiness in suffering, even though it's not true happiness. And also we cling to this separate individual personality or self that is not really like that. It's constantly changing, not separate from other things. So it's kind of like a poor person, this ignorance, like a poor person who's living in a house that is sitting on top of a gold mine. I hope that makes sense, that example. Or you could say, maybe a poor person that has an old jacket that they're wearing and it's filled with diamonds inside, but they have no idea that it's there. So I think these examples will give you some things to chew on mentally, and you can think about those. I like to give these examples so that you can take them away and think about it. Sometimes with anecdotes and stories and things like that, I think we remember them and we think about them later because they're quite interesting. The Buddha used a lot of these parables and so forth. So the next one is attachment. Attachment. It's an interesting one, isn't it? You attach to something. It's like clinging and grasping, kind of like honey. Honey is so sweet. It tastes really nice, but it's really, really sticky. In fact, I think you can glue things with honey even. So what we find something pleasing, or we get attracted to something or somebody, or even thoughts, even attitudes and things like that, and we cling to them and grasp at them. But we only really have at the moment, because of the ignorance or the lack of knowing, we only have like a tiny little bit of knowledge of what they really are even. We tend to exaggerate the good qualities of things we get attached to. The next point I'd like to make is they're difficult to let go of because we cling to them, and because of moment to moment to moment to moment, day after day, we reinforce this attachment to them. We want it all the time. Now, like let's say you went on a nice holiday a while ago. There's nothing wrong with having a memory of beautiful memories of this nice holiday, but the attachment to wanting it again when we're in lockdown, we can't have that holiday right now. We will cause suffering for ourselves due to this attachment to wanting this nice, beautiful holiday again. It's really difficult to remove. It's kind of like, how oil, you get some sort of oily substance on your t-shirt, really hard to remove. So we really have to do a lot of Dharma practice, be moral, practice of meditation, increase our compassion and love and kindness and so forth, develop more and more wisdom, and to be able to remove it. So, we may be able to get rid of the gross aspect of the oil, just on the surface, but deep down into that material, there's still, the oil is there, and that's why the stain is still there. And so that's much more subtle. Sort of like a mirror as well. If you consider, you look at a mirror, and say you haven't washed or cleaned the mirror for some time, there's the dust that's formed on that mirror. It's easy to remove the dust. You just need maybe a little bit of water and a bit of effort to do it. But then, of course, you have more of like a film. The dust is sort of formed with moisture and other types of dirt and whatever, and that's much harder to get rid of. It's like, if you're cleaning the inside of your windscreen in your car, and you go like this, and the film of dirt or whatever it is now moves over there. Oh, this is really clean here. Oh, I've just moved it over there. So you actually need something like vinegar or whatever to get rid of it. So yeah, we need to work hard without putting too much pressure on ourselves to remove this attachment. The Buddha says this attachment based on ignorance is the root cause of suffering. It's the second noble truth. What else? That'll do for that one. Obviously, the antidote for ignorance is wisdom, or you could say the antidote for the lack of knowing is knowing. The antidote for attachment and aversion, which we'll speak about in a moment, is non-attachment, non-aversion. And you could say generosity is also an antidote for this. The more generous the mind is, the less attached we are, the less greedy we are. The more we are patient and loving and compassionate, the less chance we will have to have aversion, to have hatred for things and so forth. Okay, so the next one, like I said, is aversion. It's another form of attachment. They're kind of two sides of the same coin, really. It's the opposite of attachment. You find something repulsive or unpleasant or unattractive, and then you want to push it away. You don't want it in your life. You tend to exaggerate the bad qualities or the faults of the object. Now, once again, I'd remind you that the object could be mental, could be opinions, beliefs, things like that. But also it could be, in this case, an aversion to something outside, some outside object, another person maybe, or some food, or anything. You might find something repulsive. It may even give rise to fear, or it comes from fear even as well. For instance, with animals, you may be very attracted to kangaroos and whales and dolphins, but you don't like spiders. So then because of this fear of spiders, then you don't like them more and more and more, and then it's reinforced. This is why I like to say that on the Dharma path, we need to keep moving forward on the Dharma path, not standing still or going backwards, because actually standing still is going backwards, because we will keep reinforcing these mental habits, these mental impulses. So keep moving forward on the Dharma path. It's sometimes I think it may be 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but that 1 step back you will learn from if you are practicing well, and then you will eventually eradicate even the propensity for these mental afflictions to arise again eventually. So we don't have a lot more time. What a pity. I was actually hoping that I'd get through all of these 6 today, but I'll finish them next week. Once again, I'll remind you, the other ones are pride, doubts or uncertainty, and wrong views. I'll also let you know, there's 1 minute to go. So I'll let you know that these 3 that we spoke about today are also known as the 3 poisons, or the 3 poisonous attitudes, or mental afflictions. They are the root causes. The pride, the doubt, and the wrong views come from these 3. Okay, that's why they're mentioned first. So practice well, and I'll make a choice to start the other class very soon. So don't worry. I know I've put it off for a little bit, but the other class will be not chanting, not meditation, but just Q&A and a Dharma talk with that. So keep practicing well, hear the Dharma well with an open mind, pure mind, and contemplate well, and then share with others and practice really, really well. Okay, do the best you can every time. Be happy.